Official hello to everyone. Welcome to Friday Yoga. We are going to begin lying down this morning. I have a pillow here that will be right underneath my knees, but you can also put a blanket, a sweatshirt, whatever you may have. We're just going to begin today by just bringing a little bit of relaxation right into the low back by propping the knees up a little bit. If you don't have anything with you to prop the knees, bend the knees so that the soles of the feet are on the floor. Once you have arrived here in your reclining position, let's begin to settle in. Let the body and mind arrive here in this time and in this space. Just take a few breaths. Let's begin to scan down through the body. Checking in with ourselves today. How are things feeling? Notice those sensations in the external body. So we can feel the back of the head pressing down. We can feel the shoulders down the length of the back. You can feel into the arms and all the way down to the hands and the fingers. The belly, the hips, down the length of the legs, all the way to the feet and toes. So we're feeling where we are in time and space, proprioception, where are we? Where is the body? Let's begin to focus in on our breathing. Just the simple in and the simple out of each breath. And now we begin to feel into the internal self, interoception. What are we feeling on the inside? So this is, am I hungry? Do I have to go to the bathroom? My heart rate and my breathing. It's also our emotions. And now as we move along in our practice, let's take a moment to plant into our heart 4 words: peace, harmony, laughter, love. Peace, harmony, laughter, love. Repeat those 4 words just a few times silently to yourself, planting them deep into your heart. And now a deep breath in, filling all the way up. And a nice sigh out. Let it all out. Let it go. Now, if you have a pillow or blanket or any prop underneath the knees, let's remove that and begin to position ourselves into a reclining butterfly pose. So the entire back, the shoulders, the back of the head, all resting down. And we open the knees to the side, bring the soles of the feet together. Bring the hands to rest on your belly. Let's begin to notice the breath moving in and out. Let's fill the belly up. When we do that, we witness it with the hands. We can feel the breath moving in and the breath moves out. The belly button sinks down, the hands sink down. Inhale, filling the belly. Exhale, emptying the belly. Now let's open the arms up to the out to the sides, palms facing up. Nice big inhale here. We're still in our reclining butterfly. We have the arms reaching out to the sides. Nice big inhale here. And on our exhale, let's draw everything in. So bringing the knees together, wrapping the arms around us, bringing everything in for a big hug. Inhale, let's open all the way back up. Arms reaching out to the sides, knees drift out. And then exhale, drawing everything in. So very much like a butterfly, opening and closing its wings. Link your breath to this movement. On your next inhale, let's remain here. Arms opened out to the sides, and we have our knees drifting out to either side. Soles of the feet are together. Relax the shoulders. See if there's any tension there in the shoulders. Relax. Breathe into that tension. Let it slowly melt away. Let's keep the right leg just as it is. Let's extend the left leg out along your mat. So the right knee is still out to the side. As we extended that left leg long, let's pull the toes back on the left leg, so that on the left foot. So it feels as though we're standing on a surface. We have a nice flat foot. Let's bring the right foot to rest on the inside of the extended left leg. Moving right into our reclining tree pose. Right now we have arms reaching out to the sides, but if you would like to position your arms in another way, perhaps You'd like to begin to allow the arms to drift up and overhead for a nice big stretch here, creating space. But if you prefer, keep the arms down or perhaps bring them into cactus shape. Breathing right down into this right hip, allowing an opening to happen here. Feel that stretch and that extension all the way down the back of the left leg, all the way into the left heel. Feel that left heel pressing down. On our next inhale, let's release the arms from wherever they were. Bring them down by our sides. Let's bring the right knee back into center. So bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. Now you might need to experiment a little bit here to see what feels best for you. If it feels okay to draw the right knee in towards the belly and keep the left leg extended, feel free to do that. If it feels better to draw in the right knee and bend the left knee, bringing the sole of the left foot to the floor, that may feel better on the low back. Now let's begin wherever you've decided to place the legs. Let's begin to bring some movement into this right side. So begin to draw circles with the right knee. Enjoying that full movement of the right hip, feeling that full rotation. And now drawing that right knee into the belly and releasing. Let's bring the soles of both feet to the mat, bending at both knees. And then let's open the knees once again into reclining butterfly. Extend arms out to the sides. Nice big inhale here, opening. Exhale, let's close everything up, hugging in. And then big inhale, opening and closing on the exhale. Just a few more here. Use your breath to guide this movement. And then finally we'll arrive here. Arms open to the sides. Legs open for reclining butterfly. Now let's leave the left leg just as it is. Extend the right leg long. Pull the toes back on the right foot. Flattening out the right foot. Bringing the left foot into rest along the side of the right leg. Moving into reclining tree on this side. Now position your arms for your reclining tree. Make it your own. Maybe you're ready for that big stretch, reaching the fingertips all the way up. Or perhaps you'd prefer a little bit more relaxation in the shoulders. And so allowing the arms to rest in a cactus or a bent elbows position. Take a few breaths here, right down into that left hip. Allow some opening here in the left hip. On our next inhale, let's allow the arms to float down by our sides, drawing the left knee in, bringing the left sole of the foot to the floor. Now we're going to be drawing the left knee in towards the belly. Once again, here on this side, deciding whether we'd like to keep the right leg extended or bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. Let's begin to draw circles here with the knee moving into that full rotation of our hip joint. Drawing that left knee all the way in, hugging it in. And now let's bring the right knee in as well, drawing both knees into the chest. Bring a little movement here, rocking side to side, forward and back. Let's now extend the legs, bringing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Let's release fingertips up towards the ceiling as well. So keeping the shoulders planted down, but reaching the arms, fingertips reaching up. Now let's just begin to bring a little wiggle into the hands, into the feet, up into the legs and arms. I call this the dead bug shake, kind of shaking everything out. Feel that vibration. It began in our very furthest parts of the body, hands and feet, and now it's spreading all the way down. We can feel that vibration all the way down into the spine. Take a few deep breaths here. Sigh out, let it all out. Shake it all out. And then whenever you're ready, let's bring everything back down. Let the arms rest down by our sides, soles of the feet down on the floor now. Pause here. Soften or close the eyes and just sense in to the inside. Breathe and just feel and notice. Now let's begin to make our way over to one side. And then using the hands against the mat, pushing our way all the way up to all fours. Now from here, let's come up onto our fingertips. Instead of hands flat on the floor, we're going to be on fingertips. So from here, just bring a little movement into this all fours position with fingertips pressing down. So it just feels a bit different than our normal all fours position. We kind of have the fingers making a tent. Now from here, still staying right here on our fingertips if it feels okay for you. Moving into our cow position, inhaling, bringing the gaze forward, letting the belly sag down, letting the hips rise, the tailbone rises up. On our exhale, let's pull everything up and in. Pull that belly button way up, chin tucks down, tailbone tucks down. Inhale, nice big inhale, come all the way forward, right back into our cow pose. Exhale, everything draws way up in for cat. Now continue with your breath here. See if you can stay on those fingertips without any pain. Maybe we're just feeling sensation, learning how to tell the body and the mind, this is just sensation. Now let's come back to a neutral spine, a nice flat back. And let's walk ourselves. Hips move back towards the heels. Walk those fingertips back towards you. Let everything release down into child's pose. Support yourself here in child's pose. Grab any props that you need. You can stack your hands here and create a pillow for the forehead, or you can decide to let arms rest back by the legs. On our next inhale, let's slide hands all the way forward, fingertips reaching towards the top edge of our mat. Let's ground down now into fingertips, pulling ourselves all the way forward, back to all fours. Now this time, hands flat on our mat, spreading the fingers wide, feeling the entire hand, the length of all 10 fingers. Inhale, let's bring the gaze forward, tailbone lifts right into cow. Exhale, everything draws in. We tuck the chin, tuck the tail into cat. 3 more breaths just like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And all the way back to our neutral spine in all fours. Let's lower the elbows and the forearms down to our mat. Taking the knees and walking them back, maybe once, maybe twice. And then lift that tailbone up. Press the chest down towards your mat, coming into puppy pose. Our forearms and hands are parallel to one another. We're pressing heart towards earth. That's another name for this posture, puppy pose or heart towards earth. So imagine that you're allowing everything to become heavy. Let the chest sink down. Now on our next inhale, we're going to glide. So here we go, we're going to glide. We're going to begin moving everything forward until we lay the belly and the hips down onto our mat. If we've glided forward appropriately, we should have arrived here with elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms still parallel to one another, fingertips reaching towards the top edge of our mat. Now we've arrived here in Sphinx pose. If you'd like, widen the arms out a little bit, out more towards the long edge of your mat. That may reduce this angle here and make it a little bit easier for the neck and the low back. Just a little bit more comfort. So let's ground down through the tops of the feet. Feel the tops of the feet. Feel the knees, the upper legs, the pelvis, the belly, all pressing down. Let's take as much tension as we can out of the neck and the shoulders and the back part of the body. So we prefer not to have a lot of tension here in the back part of the body. Take a few breaths here, right down into the belly. Now from here, let's walk the arms a little bit closer in. If we have expanded the arms out a little bit wider, let's walk them back in so that the elbows are right underneath the shoulders once again. On our next inhale, we're going to glide our way back up into puppy. So lift the belly, lift the hips, and glide right back into puppy. You may have to make a few adjustments with the knees. Let the heart melt down. Tailbone lifts. Now let's begin to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, back up into our all fours position. Let's ground down into the right and left hands and the left knee. So feel those three corners, right hand, left knee. Let's lighten up the right knee so that we can begin. I'll switch a little bit here so you might be able to see a little bit better. We're going to begin drawing circles with the knee. Imagine drawing circles on your mat with your knee. So everything stays quite low right now. Then you may find, as you become used to this movement, you can make it a little bit bigger, feeling into the hip. And now let's take that movement forward and back. So we're just drawing a line now, instead of a circle, drawing a line with the knee. Almost like the knee is a pendulum swinging back and swinging forward. Now this time, nice big inhale. Let's push that right heel up towards the ceiling. Right knee is bent. Inhale, push the heel up. Exhale, draw that knee in towards the belly. Hold, hold, hold. Inhale, heel towards the ceiling. Hold, breathe. Exhale, knee draws all the way into the belly. Holding, but breathing. Now let's begin. Inhale, heel rises. Exhale, knee draws in. Use your breath in your own time. Inhale, heel up. Exhale, knee draws in. Now this time, we draw the right foot all the way forward, arriving in a low lunge. Bring a little movement here if you'd like, shifting the hips forward and back, feeling in, noticing sensations. And now, keeping the right foot just where it is, planted down, hands on either side of the right foot. Let's curl under the left toes, lift the left knee. Give yourself a little momentum from that left foot, springing all the way forward, coming into a forward fold here. Nice generous bend in the knees, hinging at the hips. The belly can press down onto the tops of the legs. We can fold the arms here. Inhaling our way into half lift. Let the legs straighten just a bit. See how that feels? Let the hands glide to the fronts of the legs, shins or upper legs. Create a nice long spine here, like a tabletop with the back. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we sweep the arms out to the sides, rising all the way up. Take your time. Arriving here in an extended mountain pose, if that feels okay for you. Reaching fingers up. Nice big stretch here. And then exhale. Let the arms drift down. Arriving now in mountain pose. We're going to take a little bit of time here to feel in. Internal, external sensations. Take a few breaths. Feel free at any time during the practice to repeat those 4 words we planted into our heart as we began. Peace, harmony, laughter, love. Now let's begin to widen out our stance, walking the feet out once, twice, 3 times, and then turning, coming up onto the heels, pivoting, allowing the toes to point out to the corners. Take a moment here, feeling into this wider stance, feeling into the hips, the knees, the feet, the ankles. And now we begin our sunflowers flow. Inhaling, allowing the arms to rise all the way up to a point that feels comfortable to you. And then exhale, let it all out. Let everything sink. Let the sun set. Fingertips drift down. And then inhale, we rise all the way up. Now the wonderful thing about our yoga practice is that we are allowing ourselves to take our practice anywhere we need to go. And so sometimes we can make this sunflowers flow very invigorating. We can speed up our flow. And sometimes we may find that the mind is already speeding up enough. And what we really need is to create a nice restorative flow. Let that breath come and let it go. And next time we find ourselves rising all the way up, let's exhale. Let the arms come out to the sides. For now, let's keep elbows down, palms up. Now we're going to begin repositioning the legs just a bit. So I'm going to use right and left, but I know sometimes it looks different on screen. So mirror me. That might be the easiest thing to do. So we're going to take this leg, right leg, and we're going to come up onto the right heel, pivot, turn the toes, and plant the right foot back down. Now we'll take the left foot and we'll just walk it in just a bit. We have ourselves still opened up to the side here as we did in sunflowers. We've just repositioned the legs a bit. If it's comfortable, still having the arms out to the sides, elbows down, palms up. There's a little bit more relaxation into the neck and shoulders. Arriving here in Warrior Two. On our next inhale, let's allow the arms to float all the way up, bringing palms together at the top. If you'd like, you can even begin to bring movement into this right leg by straightening as we rise. Then on our exhale, we let everything float and sink back down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, melt and sink. Now I'm noticing that it feels good for me to bring my focus all the way up to the place where my hands meet, right here at the top. And then exhale, bring my gaze forward towards my right hand. But find that perfect spot for you. Now, On our next exhale, settling in, melting down. Let's release the arms all the way down. Let's begin to reposition the legs. Coming up onto that right heel and turning right toes. Now, see if we can arrive here in a wide-legged stance, but feet parallel. So let's soften the knees. Let's bring hands to hips. And let's hinge right here. So we're just folding ourselves in half. We're going to make our way right into a tabletop position. So we're not making our way all the way down. We're making a tabletop. So it's sort of like a wide-legged half lift position. If hands on hips doesn't feel as good, you can also bring hands to the top front part of the legs. Nice long spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, let's sweep the arms. Growing all the way up into an extended, wide-legged mountain pose. Exhale, arms all the way down. Let's walk the feet once, twice, maybe 3 times. Back to our more narrow stance, arriving here in mountain pose. Take a moment here. Perhaps it's a nice time to slow the breath, deepen the breath. Now in our next inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way up and overhead. Hands come together palm to palm. We bring the hands down to heart center at the same time. We shift the hips back. We make our way into chair pose. Inhale, arms sweep wide all the way out to the sides. Palm to palm at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center, hips sit back. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, palm to heart center, sending the hips back. This time, let's release the hands, coming all the way into a forward fold. So we lift the hips up. Keep the knees nice and bent for your comfort. You can cross the arms here. Let everything fold forward. And now let's allow the hands to drift down towards the floor, generously bending the knees here so that we can plant the hands down. Let's bring one knee back and then the other knee, arriving in all fours. Now here's an opportunity in all fours. Come up to those fingertips if you'd like, or keep the hands flat if that feels better. Now, add movement here. Rotating the hips, shifting forward and back. Now might be a good time for child's pose or puppy pose. We have about 4 or 5 breaths here to just choose those movements and those shapes and postures for ourselves. You may find that the low back feels a little tense, so those nice movements forward and back feel good. And then whenever you're ready, we'll arrive here in all fours. Let's ground down into right and left hands, right knee. So let me shift around here. So feel those 3 points. Grounding down. Let's lighten up that left knee and begin to draw circles here on our mat. Small circles, and then perhaps your circles grow a little bit bigger. And then taking that movement forward and back. So now drawing a line on your mat with your knee. Next, inhale, we push that left heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we draw that knee all the way in towards the belly. Hold right here. Inhale, heel drifts up, we push. And then we pull all the way in towards the belly. Now take this into a movement that is led by your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Whenever you're ready, let's draw that left foot all the way forward. Stepping into a kneeling lunge. Feel free to add movement here, shifting the hips forward and back. And then coming forward into our kneeling lunge, curl under the right toes, lift the right knee. Give yourself a little spring from that right foot, springing ourselves all the way forward, forward fold, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, let that belly rest down, fold the arms. Inhaling, gliding the hands to the front of the legs, calves or shins or front top of the thighs. Moving into half lift. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we rise all the way up, letting the arms drift out to the sides, reaching all the way up. Nice big stretch here. Exhaling, arms down by our sides. Pausing here for just a moment. And now let's begin to heel toe, walking those feet back out to a wider stance. Heels in, toes out. Take a moment here, feeling in to toes, to feet, to ankles, to knees, to hips. Relax the shoulders. Let's bring our hands together at heart center. Nice big inhale here. Let's begin to turn the fingertips down, reaching fingertips towards the mat, towards the earth. And then a nice big exhale as we come all the way up and back to heart center. So inhale, drawing all the way up, exhale. So this is old woman digging in the earth. That's me. Old woman digging in the earth. So as we do with sunflowers and moonflowers, make this movement your own. So the hands do not have to stay together. You can separate the hands, bending down into the legs, rising up. This time as we rise up, let's release arms out to the sides, elbows heavy, palms up. We're going to begin to move the legs, the feet, repositioning. So this leg, my left leg, might be your right, but let's mirror each other. Let's come up onto the heel and turn the toes. Taking your back foot now and walking that foot in just a bit. Our hips are still facing to the side. We arrive here in Warrior Two. Perhaps you'd like to bring your gaze over here towards this hand. On our next inhale, we let the arms drift all the way up, palms come towards one another. And then exhale, we let everything sink right back down. Perhaps you'd like to straighten out the front leg as we rise and then sink, the knee bends. Inhaling and exhaling, finding that perfect place where you can bring your gaze. Perhaps you're just following this hand. Let's make this our last one. Release the arms. Let's begin to reposition the legs here. Let's take this front foot, come up onto the heel and pivot that foot in. You may need to reposition the other foot as well. Let's come into this wide-legged stance. This time, feet are parallel to one another. Hands on hips, soften the knees. Let's hinge forward, creating that tabletop. Now here's your option this time. If you would like to continue forward into a wide-legged forward fold, reaching hands maybe down towards your mat or a block or a pillow if you have it to stack on is nice. Now, here's our challenge for the day. Reposition the feet if you need to. We're going to start to lower the hips down. So feel free to keep your hands on anything, the block, the pillow, maybe you're near a couch. We're going to just start to lower the hips down. Now find that place where you can comfortably, won't be totally comfortable, I'm not going to tell a lie, but where you can hold, possibly opening up the knees. Nice place here to possibly use your blocks to come down and then open up. So this doesn't have to look any certain way. We're just opening here, that's all. We're just opening. See if we can maybe press the knees carefully out to the sides. Straighten the spine. And then we'll release all the way. Be careful. Release all the way down to the mat in a seated position. Let's bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Let's begin with hands supporting the legs, the back of the legs. Let's draw the belly towards the legs. So sitting up nice and straight through the spine. Now see if you can use your hands to help you lift the feet up off the mat. Now draw that belly still in towards the tops of the legs. So you're kind of wrapping yourself up in a little ball here. We're here in boat position. And in boat position, we can make this look however we'd like. We're attempting to keep the spine nice and straight though. So sometimes we tend to collapse back into boat. And we really want us to keep the spine nice and erect. So if you'd like, you can expand out one leg, hover. Draw that leg in, expand out the other leg. You may find that you can release the hands from the backs of the legs. Use your focus. Find a place to focus on. Use your breath. Anytime you need to tap those toes back down, feel free. Now, hands back to the backs of the legs. Draw in. Bring the soles of the feet back down to the floor. Let yourself just drape over the legs. Let everything become heavy. Chin tucks down. You can widen out the knees a bit, giving yourself some space to let everything fold forward. And now releasing, hands back behind us. Keeping the knees bent for now. Let's walk the hips away from the mat so that we can bring the hands to rest right underneath the hips here. Palms flat on the floor, fingertips pointing down towards the feet. Let's carefully lower ourselves down onto our elbows. So see if you might need to readjust where your hands are so that your elbows can be underneath the shoulders. Now, keep the knees bent for now, soles of the feet on the floor. Nice big inhale into the chest. Let the gaze come up towards the ceiling, but keep the spine straight. So we are attempting not to let the head fall backwards, which would put a kink in the neck or a kink in the spine. Keep the gaze all the way up at the ceiling. Now see if it feels okay to extend the legs long. This is fish pose, opening the chest, opening the throat. Now to come out of fish pose, I find the nicest way to do it is to roll over to one hip. And then guide yourself all the way down to a reclining position. Once you've arrived here in a reclining position, let's draw knees in towards the chest, hugging in and adding movement if you'd like. Side to side or forward and back or circles. Release that last bit of tension in the low back. Drawing the knees all the way into center, keeping the knees drawn in or deciding to release soles of the feet to the floor. We're going to move into a reclining twist. So from either position, knees drawn in or soles of the feet on the floor. Let's expand arms out to the side. Let the knees drift to one side, doesn't matter which side. Release the shoulder blades down to your mat. Let the arms become heavy. Let's draw the knees all the way back to center. And then over to the other side. Let the knees drift. Shoulders pressing down. Arms relaxed. Take a few breaths. Inhaling, knees back to center. Giving ourselves a bit of time now to set ourselves up in a resting position. Add those comfort items in. Be warm, be cozy. Shavasana, corpse pose, is the dress rehearsal for death. We stop the solidity of our physical bodies, the heaviness of our mental space into the mat. We surrender all the bits of ourselves and our lives that we love and hold dear into the earth that holds us. And then we come back to life rejuvenated. Shavasana allows us to appreciate the weight of everything that we have. It allows us for a moment to lay that weight to rest. When we pick it up again, we are refreshed. We know it's a weight we carry willingly until the time it comes to let it go. Take this time to let the breath relax and release and melt any bits of tension still holding on. Noticing sensations externally, internally. Until it's time to let all of that go. And all that it remains is the breath, the in and the out. Let's begin to bring ourselves back. Back to this space. Back to our bodies. Back to sensation. We begin to wake up the body slowly, gently. Taking the time to decide to stay right where we are, or perhaps move into another position. As our practice draws to a close, we revisit the 4 words that we planted inside of our hearts. Peace, harmony, laughter, love. Peace, harmony, laughter, love. Namaste.